Right, so I've got this for a week, so thank you very much to Honda UK for letting me have this. It says 7 days of rain, that's what I've got, a whole 7 days of rain ahead of me. So I've just finished work and the sun's out, so I'm going to take advantage of this. It looks like it is going to rain, but I'm going to take advantage and go the long way home. So hopefully I can give you a little bit of an insight and a little bit of a first impression of this, the 2021 Honda CB650R. Let's just close that visor. I'm not sure if it's louder with the visor open or closed, because this is a naked bike. Obviously you can see that, you're not all blind, but I've got my Clim. I never know how to say it. Is it Clim or is it Climb? Let me know down in the descriptions. How do I say this crash helmet's name? Climb or Clim? Krios. It's my adventure lid basically, and it whistles awfully. Look at me, sound really posh. It whistles a lot when the visor's down, well, semi-down, because it doesn't really close properly, and when I put it up I get a lot of wind noise, so I feel like I'm shouting, so I'm not sure. Until I listen to this edit back, I'm not actually sure of what it's going to sound like. Anyway, welcome aboard. So today it is a first impressions ride, but it's not like we do it normally. As I've said, Honda UK have now come on board, so thank you very much to the guys and girls up there or down there or over there, wherever they are in relativity to my house. So this is the first bike that's dropped off in my garage. I can only have this for a week, unfortunately, because they've got an event and they want it back, but a week should be plenty to find out how we get on with it. As I said, I normally do first impressions, and this is going to be slightly different in the fact that I'm going to do a first impressions, don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you what I think about it, and I'll do it on the commute home. I'm going to go the long way, but I'm not going to do it in the sense of would I buy it, would I not buy it, that sort of thing. We're going to do that at the end of the week, and I'm going to do another video once I've owned this for a while. Once I've owned this, I don't own it, it's just lent to me. Don't get cocky, don't get carried away, that's theft. Right, now back to the point. Yeah, once I've had this under my butt for a little while, I'll get more of an idea of what it's like. Judging by the weather and the amount of time I've got this, it may well be a case of 7 videos on trash control, because it looks like it's going to rain completely for the whole week, but today's dry, so we're blessed at the moment. Right, we are a little bit all over the place at the moment because this is kind of an ad hoc video. I was planning on doing the first impressions ride tomorrow when I was a bit more, what's the word, clued up, ready, prepared, I don't know. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's just not coming out. So what I've done is I've got the camera with me, so we're going to go the long way home, and I shall give you a little bit of what's it like to commute on first impression, if that makes sense. Bear with me, no one comes to this channel for my professionalism. Hopefully they come because it's entertaining, and hopefully for the right reasons. So we've got 2 bars of fuel left. That should be enough to get us home. I don't know what it does miles per gallon, but what I shall do is drop downstairs in the descriptions box all the details of this from Honda. That says 20, the floor says 40. Is this a 20 now? It's 20 miles an hour, 20 mile an hour dual carriageway. What's the world coming to? Oh dear. Right, anyway, let's get our commute on. Visor up. You know we mean business if the visor's up. I'm still used to the width of the Africa Twin, so I'm not 100% confident, even though I know this bike's really thin and it is great for commuting. I've still got Africa Twin dimensions in my mind. Oh, let's go around this way. Oh, look at me, having a bit of clutching all over the place. Got no clutch control, got no skills. It's been a long time since I've used a clutch as well. My Super Cub doesn't have a clutch. My Africa Twin's DCT. The off-roader's been off the road. Are we moving? Oh, what a kind man in a van. Thank you very much. Yeah, the off-road's been off-road for God knows how long, since June, so I haven't ridden a bike with a clutch for ages. It took me all of, or at least 10 minutes to get used to it, but as you can see from back there, I don't really have much clutch control. Why do people just stop with their mirrors completely next to each other? I don't know what it is. If they stagger it, it's much easier to get through. Do they not think? Right, so there we go. Easy to filter on, very easy. Even though I've got no skill at it, it's very easy to filter on. So step one on the commute, tick. Right, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 6'2", wide in the shoulder, long in the leg, long thigh bone. I weigh now 17.5 stone. I shall put all of those dimensions and everything on the screen for those of you that don't have the ability to Google the conversions. I don't know why, I always get it on every video. We don't know what stone means, we don't know what feet and inches mean. Literally, all you have to do is the same as what I do. Google it, it's quite simple, just convert it. But don't worry, I've done it for you. I just will warn you now, I'm not going to do a walk around on this video. I normally do it on my first impressions review, but as I've got this for a little while, I can do a more in-depth walk around somewhere else when I've got the time during the week, and then I'll probably tag that on either the video at the end of the week or I'll do a standalone video. I haven't decided yet. Anyway, back to this one. Ergonomics, how we get on with it, with my body shape straight off the bat, sitting on it. I've only ridden it to work, which was the short way, which is 5 miles, and now we're riding it on the way home. I'm going to do the long version on the way home. The long version, is that even a thing? We're going to go the long way home. Not as long as Charlie and Ewan, but I've still got to get used to using a clutch. Seats to bars to peg ratio, they're pretty good for a small bike. As you know, I'm a tall lump and I'm a big lump, so not the most comfortable. And the problem I've got at the moment is I've damaged my knee, so anything slightly tucked up is a little bit painful, but we shall get used to that. The actual seat is a little bit hard, but it's got a little bit of wiggle room, so it's not too bad. I will get used to that. Again, at the end, when I've had this a week, I'll have more of a judgment for you. This is just a first impression. Seat is okay. The width of the bars is nice. I would like them just a little bit further apart, as in width-wise. And that's just because, one, I'm wide in the shoulders, and two, I'm kind of used to riding adventure bikes. I'm used to really, really wide bars. And it just makes it even more manoeuvrable when the bars are wider. But what that does mean is, as you just saw back there, filtering and through traffic, it makes it a lot easier if the bars are thinner. And it does suit the bike, it suits the nature of it. It is quite a compact bike, but not too uncomfortable. Usually when I got on a bike and it's really small for me, I instantly get cramp in my hips. Well, after about 10 minutes I'll get cramp in my hips, telling me where my hips protest, as in I don't want to be in this position, like between this car and this truck. So that straight off the bat is not too bad. This is only going to be a quick video because one, I'm on my way home, and two, I'm losing my voice. I'm yodeling a little. See, I'm yodeling a little bit. It's very hard to speak. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Nothing's happened. It's not as if I've been shouting at anyone. Mirrors look ugly, don't like the look of them, but they do the job. Can see a lot behind me, no problem. Don't have to lift my arms at all. I can see behind me. If I want to see directly behind me, obviously I've got to tuck my elbow in a little bit, but I can see there's a Mercedes behind me, and I can even just tuck my elbow in and I can read his number plate. That's how good they are. Right front of the bike where the screen is like a little mobile phone. I'm not sure, but it seems a little bit brighter than it was on the last version. The other CB650R I rode when it first came out, when the sun was overhead, there's a little bit of glare on the screen, and the letters or the numbers weren't as bright as they could be. Whereas these, yeah, I can read them in all sorts of sunlight. I've got the sunlight just in front of me. I'm completely in the wrong lane here. No, I'm not. Am I? Who knows? No, I'm going to turn off it. Yep, right, we're back to it. I'm so indecisive. Right, so yeah, that seems a little bit bright. I could be wrong. It could just be that angle of the sun, and I was expecting it to be really dull or not as good, so therefore my expectations were lower, and now I've been surprised, so I'll have to check into that. As you can see, no front fairing, no windscreen, so that means all the wind straight in the mush and straight in the chest. I've got to apologise about my voice. It really is on the edge. I'm really on the edge of losing it. As I said, I have no idea why. I don't think I've spoken to anyone in the last 2 hours, so I'm not sure what's happening. Yeah, so it's a pure wind. This crash helmet is awful on a naked bike. so I'll have to swap over to my other Shark and see if I can get that wired up. I took all the stuff out of that because that whistles as well, so I've got two whistly crash helmets. I do need to invest in a new crash helmet, so if any crash helmet manufacturers are out there, fancy dropping me a line so I can give you a little bit of free promotion on the channel. Right, anyway, that's not what we're here for. The two crash helmets I've got, they work well on the Africa Twin because it's got the big screen, but as soon as I get on anything with a little bit of wind noise, the Shark, because it's got the lifting mechanism in the middle, seems to catch the wind on anything but fully closed. And when I put I'm getting sidetracked here, apologies about this, and when I put the GoPro in and the headset and everything, because I have my crash helmets quite tight, there's not really enough room for the speakers, the earplugs and everything, and it's pretty uncomfortable with everything in it. So I stripped that one out and put it back in this Krios, this Klim Krios. Oh, we'll get there one day. Anyway, enough nonsense, back to the bike. It feels really nice and light. It's easy to commute on. It's got enough torque low down, even though it's an inline 4. It's a, I'm not sure the actual CC, I'll put that on screen, but it is a 650, but it's never really a 650, it's probably a 649. I should put on the screen as well how much brake horsepower, how much torque, what the rev limiter is. So I can tell you what it is. It's no, I can't really see it. 13,000, 12.5. I don't know. It's somewhere after 12,000 and before 14, but not where 13 would be on the rev counter. 12.1 I'd say is the red line, is the rev limiter, the red line. I'll get there in a minute. It's there basically, just there, just after the 12. Anyway, doesn't really mean anything, does it? Right, so your power is going to be up there 6, 7, 8,000 revs, 10,000 onwards, and low down usually inline 4s are pretty sluggish, no torque. But lately, as in the last 10 years, manufacturers have managed to get torque out of inline 4s, which is lovely. I do like a little bit of low down torque, especially handy around town. The problem I've had in the past with inline 4s is you have to rev the nuts off them to get them going anywhere and singing, to get into the sweet spot. And you still have to, obviously, because it's a inline 4, you still have to rag its little ghoulies off to get it up there, to get it singing. But low down, it's still got enough torque and enough pull to keep you on the go during commuting and off the mark and just short shifting. It's not just a one-trick pony. I don't know what they've done lately. I won't even attempt to go into the mechanics of how they work on engines. That's not my criteria. My criteria is, do I like the bike? Oh, that looks pretty. There you go. Expert opinions here on the Fish Channel. Right, seeing as I'm riding in a straight line, this is the bit where a proper reviewer will tell you how manoeuvrable it is by doing this. And if you do this in a straight line, this obviously tells you how good the handling is. Sorry, I'm taking a mickey a little bit. I've seen it so many times lately. Luckily, no one I know. But yeah, it's like, if we do this, this is what it handles like. Basically, that just tells you what the centre of gravity is like. And it's quite nice, this bike. It's not fully down there. It is quite a low centre of gravity. As I said, it's not fully rugrats on the bottom, whatever that means. But it's nicely balanced. It's got good handling. The few bends I have gone round, obviously in commuting you don't go around bends and blast, you just go around cars mainly. Right, so handling wise, suspension, let's talk about suspension rather than handling, because on these roads they're a little bit bumpy. Some of them are smooth, but the commuting roads are decent. And you've got non-adjustable forks at the front. They are, what's they got on there? They've got SVF written on them, so they're SVF forks. And on the back you've got a little bit of adjustment, not a lot, but you've got a little bit. But having said that, on this little journey they're not too bad. Obviously at the end of the week, when I've done some more riding, I've gone out and done a few more things with it, I can give you a better insight into what I think of the suspension. As you know, this is just a first impression. It's running on Metzler Road Tech, I think the tyres are. I'm not sure if I've ridden on these before. I'm not sure if they were originally on the CB650R that I rode, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? God, it seems ages ago now. But I rode them in the absolutely hacking down rain this morning, and they were okay. I didn't power it onto anything, I didn't try to slide it, I didn't take liberties. But it was fine, it was really nice. I didn't feel them slip out, traction control didn't kick in much. And it was all right. It's a nice place to be. In the dry they feel really quite sticky. Although I'm just commuting, they feel quite responsive. The whole bike feels connected. I feel like I know what's going on, if that makes sense. You get on certain bikes and it all feels very vague. The front end of this and the back, even just mucking around like this, just poodling around, it all feels very responsive, very planted. Again, later in the week, if it does stop raining, I know I'm saying that now while it's dry, but if it doesn't rain as much as it says it's going to rain, I can go and take this out on some country lanes, have a bit of a play, have some fun, and I can tell you a bit more about the effectiveness of this suspension and these tyres out in the fun realms rather than the commuting realms. So lights wise, we've got full LEDs front and rear. I keep catching glimpses of myself in the shop windows, and I do look a little bit big for this bike, that's got to be said, but then I do look quite big on most bikes. If you bear in mind my own bike, as in my comfortable bike, not my Super Cub, but my comfortable bike that I've kind of built round to be comfortable so I can do long distance on, is an Africa Twin, and I've put bar risers on there, and I've got the high seat on there as well, so we're up to, I think it's 895mm for the seat height, plus an extra, what is it, inch or so on the bar risers, something like that. So you get an idea where I'm coming from, and I can still flat foot that. Whereas this, I'm not sure what the seat height is, but it's quite low. It's not as low as that NC750 I rode the other day, but it is still low nevertheless. I'm really enjoying this commute. This is the first time I've done one of these first impressions reviews by heading through traffic on a commute. I usually just head out into the countryside and have some fun and play on a bike. But this, because I've got it longer, I can do more stuff on it. So I can give you more of my opinion. Not that that means anything to anyone, because at the end of the day it's just an opinion. But at least hopefully it'll be a little bit more informed. I'm already falling back in love with the CB650R. When I had it back on the first impressions when it first came out, I loved it because it was small, light, nimble, quite powerful for what it was. It felt well built. Everything was where it's supposed to be. I don't know what that means. The wheels are on the bottom, the seat's on the top. But what is it missing? It's missing something. USB charger. I don't know if there's one under the seat, but there's nothing on the dashboard. I know when I had the CB1000R, yeah, she's lively. Felt quite grippy around there as well. I mean, it wasn't elbow down, but we weren't bolt upright, and it felt really, really grippy. The power came in really progressively. I mean, I was quite progressive on the throttle. I didn't just bang it wide open because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. But just that little bit there, we're going to have some fun. Please stay dry. I'm begging, please stay dry for the rest of the week, and we will have some serious fun. Yeah, USB, as I was saying, on the CB1000R is an aftermarket or a Honda Extra, which was about 35 quid, I think. No, 70 quid. Ridiculous for a USB charger. All bikes, we know this by now. If you've been on my channel, you know that I think all bikes should come standard with a USB charger, at least one, because we've all got phones and we need to charge our stuff. It's very playful, that's what I can say. It feels very, very playful. I love these middleweight bikes because they've got enough power to keep you entertained. The problem with really, really fast bikes, unless you're on a track, is you're in trouble before you even get to the fun spots. But yeah, it handles, it goes from side to side really nice. Not a lot of input at all. I've got to say, I'm impressed with these tyres in the dry. I really am. They feel really stable at any speed. Well, I say any speed, at any legal speed. And it's got a nice sound from this exhaust. This is a standard exhaust on it. And again, if you watch my channel, you'll know I've ridden one of these with a full Akrapovic system on, with the baffle out. And oh my God, it sounded glorious. It was just a beautiful sound. probably offensive to some, but to me absolutely beautiful. But this as a standard can, I said it on the original one when I did the first impressions on that I actually love the sound of it. Motorcycles for a few years, they put end cans on that sounded just so dead, muted, nothing. You didn't have any sound in them whatsoever. But over the last few years, they've started tuning them. They've started making them sound a little bit more glorious. Clutch is nice and light, feels good. It's non-adjustable. The brake lever, the front brake lever, is adjustable for span. I'm not sure if it is a slipper clutch on this. I'll have to check the little bump when I get home, and if it is, I'll put it on the screen now. But there's not really a lot I can say on this short commute ride, apart from I've really enjoyed it. It's a nice place to be. It's a decent temperature out, so I'm nice and in the sweet spot of being comfortable body temperature wise. Although I said the seat was quite firm before, it's not uncomfortable. I've really enjoyed it. I don't feel like I'm aching, but it's only been a short ride. As I said at the beginning of this video, stick around on this channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get the drop on these videos, and I will do more on this, the little CB650R, over the next coming week. So look out for that if you're interested in this bike. If you're not interested in this bike, there are other videos available, although I mainly do Honda, and I'll tell you why in another video why I mainly do Honda. Some of you already know, but I will tell you. That will come to light at some point. But for now, thank you very much to Honda Motorcycles for letting me have this for the week. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much. If we were allowed to hug, if I was allowed to lick your earlobes, I would, but I'm not, so therefore you're saved. Right, this bit is after I've actually said the ending, but I figured the sun's out, so let's go and have a little bit of a play before I get home. And then obviously I'm dropping this bit in before the ending, so when the ending comes and it doesn't make geographical sense, you will know why, because I don't want the continuity police on my back. But anyway, let's have a little bit of fun. Not too much, just a little bit. Not blisteringly fast, but enough to keep you amused, as all 600s or around that should do. Shame it's got no quick shifter. Sweet and neutral handling, even on these bumpy twisty roads. It really does feel nice. Very impressed, as I was the first time I rode this bike. Very impressed, and it hasn't changed at all. That bit of it, the handling side of it, has not changed. Even on this initial little commute home, it's still a bag of fun. I mean, it says a lot, because of the route I've taken home. I'm all over the place now. I'm actually nowhere near home. But if this was a crap bike, I would have taken it straight home. As soon as I'm completely going the wrong way now, I'm going to turn around. Right, so let's do that time travel thing where we go back to the ending. Oh dear, deep, Pulp Fiction-esque. Check back for more videos on this and other bikes. I shall see you soon. I shall check out. Don't forget to subscribe, to like, to share, do all those things that you need to do. Also hit that notification bell so you guys can get the drop on these videos. I shall see you on the next one. You know I love you all. Stay safe. Fish out.
Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong, so go ahead, get gone. Get all your bags, get out my house. I don't want your stuff around. I never did you wrong, but you did me wrong, so go ahead and get gone.